Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Cup of Joe with Joe and Joe podcast. I'm your host Joe, and with me, as always, is my wonderful co-host, Joe.
Cause baby, now you feel like number one, shining bright for everyone.
Joe, I'm getting copyrighted. Joe, no! Joe, the copyright gods, no!
Our boy's back. Number one is back in the building, everyone. It made me realize how much I missed him.
Yeah, they held him out. What do we see? We saw him in the first episode, so it's been like 6 or 7 episodes without him, except in like end credit shenanigan stuff, where he's got like 45 energies flowing into him, and he's got 4 additional pupils. I still don't know what the fuck is going on there, but I will figure that out, apparently. I'm pretty pumped to talk about this.
Yeah, let's talk about the entrance, Joe. How did it make you feel?
Oh my god. Okay, so a bit of preface here. First thing we see is we get the reprise of the reprise. How do you say that? I don't know what I'm saying anymore. We're recording this at a later time than usual. My brain isn't working right now. We see again the Yuha origins, what I presume to be the Yuha origins, and then we get into the Bambis, and they're fighting Kenpachi, and they're just like, that guy, special target. Which, of course, you'd be like, of course that guy's a special target. In my head, there are 3 distinct special targets you have to watch out for in Soul Society. Kenpachi, obvious. Yes, this guy is a monster, an outlier in all sense of the words. Get rid of him as soon as you can. Ichigo, we come to find out he's the number 1 special threat that the Stern Rooters all got to deal with. Makes a lot of sense when you know all of his origins and all the different stuff that he is, blah, 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 blah. Number 3, we also get a very quick glimpse of in this, Aizen. So, like, those 3, I think about that, and I'm just like, yeah, those are my 3 big special threats right there. And we see all 3 of them in this episode. So
now, Joe, what if I told you there are 5?
Oh, okay.
And I might have mentioned that this term called the Final 5. I'll just let you. I'm not going to confirm or deny, some of the things you said, but yeah, that's a big deal later on in the show.
Okay. I was just thinking in my head, I was like, if I was invading the Serete, those are the 3 people that I would be the most on the lookout for. Anyway, the Bambis fuck up Kenpachi, but not without trying. They hit him with a couple of things, and he's still alive and still walking. They're like, what in the hell? How is this guy still doing all this stuff? Then, yes, Ichigo's entrance. We knew he was coming down through the 72 layers of whatever in the atmosphere, and then you have the big bubble of death over the Serete. He smashes right through that like a comet, and I love how he clearly lands very, very far away from the Bambis and Kenpachi, yet all of a sudden, he's there, and you don't get any hint of it. There's no visual little glint, there's no auditory little thing. It's just like, oh, he's here now. He's behind the Bambis, in between them and Kenpachi, and they're like, wait, what? And then you get you get a large gust of air showing the speed at which he entered the area. He talks to Kenpachi a bit.
All of it, the entrance was awesome, and I love how Ichigo's not a dick about it. He just casually does it. I loved Kenpachi and his interactions. Like, damn, never thought I'd see the day where I had to help you. Like, just like old pals. I'm like, this is so fucking cool.
I love the change in his demeanor. It reminds me a lot of the Soul Society arc, where he finally gets to the Sogyoku. Okay, hang on. It reminds me of the Soul Society arc, where he finally gets to the Sogyoku. I'm not repeating that again. And he's just kind of there, smiling, spinning his sword above his head, rescuing Rukia. He does the same sort of thing here. He enters, and he's got a much more, like, chill, cheerful demeanor. He doesn't even pay attention to the Bambis behind him, even though we can see Kenpachi is clearly messed up right in front of him. And the Bambis immediately try to take out Ichigo. And we get, I don't know if this is lazy on the part of Kubo or if this is intentionally mirroring. I'm going to choose to believe the latter, but it very closely resembles the Soul Society arc moment when he comes in and he rescues Rukia and all the lieutenants try and take him out. And then he just completely disarms all of them. Punching some in the gut, kicking some away, he gets rid of all of them. Same thing he does here with the Bambis. Very cool. But all of the Bambis, well, one Bambi in particular, the Thunder one, not really happy about this. She just keeps launching into him. And my God, Ichigo is just like, I don't care. Whatever you are, whoever you are, it doesn't matter to me. You're not as powerful as me. Set the fuck down.
Yeah. It was very satisfying seeing his interactions because it didn't completely like make the Bambis look like nothing. Like he still had to like pay attention and like kind of like keep his guard up, and a couple times being like, "Ooh, that doesn't look too good." But even through that all, he's like, "Okay, I can handle this. Stay cool. Remember the training." And oh yeah, the power fantasy. Like we just get like a little drip of it with his new attack, and I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, this isn't even like we're just getting like again a little taste. I'm like, he hasn't even unleashed his full thing yet.
Let's segue directly into that. When he's fighting the Bambis, we see his new Getsuga, which is something that I never expected. I was like, wait, what is this? And I'm not even talking about the later Getsuga that we get to, but like the first thing that we see, where he takes one of his swords and he just draws a line in the air. It's all gold and shimmery and stuff. And the massive attack that one of the Bambis just threw at him hits that, goes around him. He doesn't care. He's still looking fly as hell. Incredible. Then, as the fight continues on, there's like plenty of interactions between all the Bambis and Ichigo, but really like none of that. It's fine, it's whatever, it's cool. I just really want to get to this next big thing, which is the new Getsuga. He draws the one little line again, because one of the Bambis, the really angry Lightning Thunder one, she's launching her most powerful attack at him or some crap like that. And he's just like, alright, you know, I keep telling you to stop. You're not listening to reason, so let me just demonstrate to you why you should go away. He draws his little line, and he draws another line perpendicular, so it's a big old plus sign. I can't remember the name of it. It starts with a J. What is it, Joe?
Yeah, I get Getsuga Jujisho.
That one. What follows is one of my favorite moments, not because it's a big explosion that looks amazing, which it is, but it is also because of the way Ichigo reacts to how the Lightning Bambi girl doesn't react, where she's just like, alright, I'm gonna take this. And she does the classic shonen move, holding out the one hand to stop the energy of whatever the fuck from vaporizing her body. She does that, and Ichigo just screams at her, dodge, you idiot. And it's too late. You know it's too late. And she loses her entire arm. And she's just screaming bloody murder because she's infuriated at either her own stupidity or the power of Ichigo. Probably both, but she is not having a good time. Doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things because one of the other Bambis just ends up re-healing her arm, which that's, I guess, every single sect of the Bleach universe needs to have their one stupidly overpowered healer. But Ichigo, like we said, he ain't got time for this shit. Big sky beam appears way in the background, and he's like, oh, shit, I gotta go deal with that, because that's where Yuhaba is. And so he takes off going down that way. Immediately, the Bambis are on him. They start smacking him into buildings. However, they're not the only ones. A bunch of other Stern Ritters that appear. I don't know the names of any of them. All I know is that they all want to kill Ichigo because he is the #1 special threat. Side tangent, I love how they call him the #1 special threat, not only because it's just, again, reinforcing the power fantasy isms of this whole thing, but also because his song, it just feels so nice. It's great. I love that. Anyway, there's a lot of people trying to kill him. Ichigo gets saved last second by, of course, Renji. And then he's like, alright, Ichigo, go deal with the big sky beam. These guys ain't getting past me. And all the Sternerners are like, the fuck this guy, we're gonna try and take on Ichigo. And Renji just steps in between them. And he's like, no. Perhaps you didn't hear me. You're not getting past me. And you're like, okay, alright. I think back to the first arc, Joe, when he's fighting Ichigo, like specifically in Soul Society, and they're just, it's teeth gnashing and fists and face and all this crazy, gritty shit. They're just stomping each other into the pavement. And then I think to this moment, and I'm like, man, sometimes long-form media is really cool to see these kind of evolutions.
Dude, I completely agree. All of it. I love this episode so much. It really made me feel nostalgic, to put it simply. Seeing the new Getsuga and kind of the simplicity of like the little line, I thought was great. Yuji show was awesome, as well as, you know, Ichigo's reaction of like, holy crap, like, dodge, you idiot. Love that line. I like that we get introduced to the Bambis. They have very interesting powers, and seeing Renji as well as Byakuya, Rukia, Shuhei, Ikaku, and Yumichika all show up and be like, look, You go handle the big guy. We'll take care of the little boys. So cool. And again, just setting up more fights, which I love.
I also appreciate when Ichigo, bouncing back to the beginning, is coming into the Seirete. Everyone can feel his presence even before he smashes through the barrier. Byakuya is the first one to notice it when he's with Rukia, and Rukia's freaking out because she thinks someone is dying, and Byakuya's like, hey, chill, you feel that? And she's like, what? Oh, and then he smashes the Seirete, and the moment he does, again, very similar to when he first appeared in the Seirete in Core 1, he's very powerful. That, or the fact that he is like the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, amen. It's just, there's a unique aura about his spiritual pressure, and everyone everywhere can always sense it. It's just something that I find to be like a really neat detail. Like, they never miss. Every time he enters somewhere, it's like, oh, wait, who's this?
Yep. It's not like a, do you feel that power? It's the uniqueness of the actual aura that he has.
Yeah. Moving on, Ichigo flying straight to the sky beam. He gets there, and who does he see? It's Uryu. So finally, we get to see them interact with each other outside of episode 1. Ichigo is confused and hurt by the fact that Uryu is standing with the man who just obliterated the Seirete, and he's like, what are you doing up there? Why are you there? And Uryu answers something else. He just starts talking about crap, and Ichigo, very no bullshit kind of person, cuts through whatever Uryu just said. He's like, that's not what I asked. I asked you a question. You're not answering my question. What are you doing there? Again, doesn't get a response from him. He just gets a barrage of arrows shot at him from Uryu. And of course, Uryu has been powered up as well, because he's drank the blood of Yuha. He's got whatever other tricks up his sleeve that we don't know about yet. And the arrows all start piercing Ichigo until Chad and Orihime come in. Chad introduced first with his one big arm. Orihime reintroduced with her two big melons.
Yeah, baby!
It took me out a little bit, I will say, when she comes out.
that
and it's
fit.
just...
That fit is nice.
Where did she get that fit? Why is it like that?
But Chad, looking fly, as always, one of my favorite characters. Chad is underrated. That dude is cool as hell.
Chad is cool as hell. He also doesn't get fuck all to do in this show, which is really sad, because he is one of the more interesting characters, I think. Especially if you gave him time to develop.
100%. Chad needs his own spin-off show. You heard it here first. Orihime, looking fly. Let me tell you, love the outfit. And yeah, they're coming in, and they also see their boy Uryu, and they're like, Ichigo, what is he doing up there? And Ichigo's like, boy, I've been asking that for 5 minutes.
He refuses to answer me, the little bitch. We don't get much more than that. Uryu is just like, alright, well, there's 3 of you now, and there's 3 of us, but we don't have time to deal with you, so we're gonna fuck off. He doesn't say any of this, it's just you can see it in his eyes, all of that. Full quotation, what I just said, in his eyes. They literally wrote it into the iris. Anyway, he walks back with Haschwalt and Yuha, and they get up into the sky beam, and they go shooting up into the sky. I said sky too many times in this sentence, it's starting to lose its meaning to me. But we get a little bit more exposition, I guess you could say, from Mayuri, whereas it turns out the 72 barriers that protect the Soul King's lair, kingdom, castle.
The Soul Kingdom.
Yeah, the Soul Kingdom. They're broken when Ichigo blasts through them, and it takes, I believe, they say 6,000 seconds or something like that for it to reform, which is like 10 minutes or some crap, I don't remember. But so they have a window to get all the way up there, which of course it's then revealed the Soul King is their true objective, and you're like, okay, so that's what he's going for. Why? Don't quite know yet, but we do see Ichibe just sitting there. He's got a look on his face, and they draw a lot of attention to this look on his face. He looks calm and collected, but it's also like that calm, collected look that sociopaths have, where they're just like, oh, I'm planning the murder of my next victim. And then also, I need to figure out what I'm going to have for lunch an hour afterwards. It's like, that's what I see in his eyes. I'm like, I don't know what this man is planning, but I assume he's smart enough to realize, number one, what Yuha's true intentions are, and number two, that when they send Ichigo back, they're going to be vulnerable. So, we'll see.
Kind of similar to what Aizen's plan was back in the original series. and how important it is to protect the Soul King. I mean, I even like the explanation. I think that's a reasonable explanation of how they got access to it. And the fact that Mayuri does hint, like, why did Squad Zero let them do this? Like, they could have, Ichigo could have came another way and been extra protective. But yeah, Ichibei, we're going to learn a little bit about Ichibei soon, Joe. And he's an interesting character, to say the least. But the other thing, super important, that I wanted to say is that, you know, Ichigo's new fit, obviously very fly. We get to see underneath the whole garments and everything. He has like this little bit of armor, and you're like, okay, cool. He just gets a new fit. No, they give it an explanation. It's made out of Squad Zero's hair and bones, so that it can withstand like the travel from the 72 barriers, and it's fucking sick.
Yeah, adding that little bit of detail just to help explain things, it's always very much appreciated. But aside from that, I don't think there's much else to discuss with the rest of this episode. It was really just to reintroduce you, hey, here you go, here's Ichigo, this is what he's obtained in the last 7 episodes since you haven't seen him really. And we now know the true objective, or at least the true target of Yuha.
Yeah, we're moving into the second half is going to be the invasion of the Soul Palace. And I'm excited. I'm a little nervous because there's things I know, things I don't know. And the big talk has been, where is this core going to end? And I'm not sure. But we got some big info dumps coming soon.
I cannot wait. Very excited for all this. So, hope you guys are enjoying Thousand Year Blood War just as much as we are. Obviously, we're loving it, every bit of it. Ichigo is back. Let's go, baby! And we're probably going to the Soul Palace pretty soon. Let's go! But with all that being said, everyone always remember, we'll love you, we'll leave you, and goodbye.